Are the parties ready to proceed, Mr. Stone, or are you ready to proceed?
Your Honor, people are not able to proceed at this time, Judge. For the record, I've made 2 attempts to contact the complaining witness in this matter. The voicemail is not set up on her phone. I did send some texts and I did not get a response. However, Detective Witkowski, who's sitting next to me here, informed me this morning that he had contact with the complaining witness's mother, who informed him that the complaining witness is in Harbor Oaks currently, and that is why she is not present today. So for that reason, I would ask for an adjournment.
Mr. Truba, go ahead.
Your Honor, we're going to ask for a dismissal. This date was already scheduled last week, and she was made aware of it because I'm sure that a subpoena was served on her by the prosecution. And
What was the witness subpoenaed? Do you know, Mr. Stone?
Well, Judge, we would have mailed a subpoena to her residence, but she's not at her residence. She's in Harbor Oaks. And we unfortunately don't know of an out date at this point.
Do you know how long your witness has been there?
Approximately 4 days.
Previous to, well, do you know whether or not your witness knew of today's court date then?
I don't believe so, Judge, because my first attempt to reach out to her would have been 2 days ago. And if subpoenas were mailed and she went into Harbor Oaks 4 days ago, I'm pretty confident that she would have already been in the Harbor Oaks Hospital before the subpoena reached her house.
Do you know if you have a witness that is wants to proceed in this case?
Well, again, Judge, like I indicated, I haven't been able to communicate with her. My first attempt was.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is that your detective, I assume, at some point spoke with the complaining witness because there was a complaint that was filed and it was signed by your detective.
Other than the time of the incident, Judge, we haven't had any communication with her.
All right, I'm gonna deny the motion. I'll grant one adjournment. I'll find good cause because it's clear that the witness would not have received notice. How long down the line do you need?
Judge, again, Detective Witkowski indicated that we don't know of an out date. Defendant's on bond. I would ask for 30 days.
Your Honor, I do have some objections to that. My client lives in Merendon, Georgia. And when school, she's a bus driver for schools, and she expects to be back there to be driving her bus as the school year starts. So while we can't do this next Wednesday, I would say the Wednesday after that, which would be the 7th.
When do you start up again? You know?
We start at the beginning of August, but I also need to see my doctor because my blood pressure meds and all are out.
All right, I'll set it for July the 21st at, do we have any other exams to take?
No.
At 10 o'clock. Now, generally, I would not do this, but I would consider Zoom because your client lives out of the state, but that's up to her. If she doesn't want, if she wants it in person, obviously she has a right to do that.
Well, Your Honor, I did want to address her bond issue. As far as I know, there's a personal bond here, and
no, she posted a bond. It shows that a bond was set and she posted it.
And the problem is that, and I think she's mistaken, that as it now exists, she's not free to leave the jurisdiction.
I'll allow her to leave the state. That is granted. I'll allow you to leave the state.
We could have in person with the other parties. You know, like we've done it before.
You got no problem with that date then. And what we can do is we can also have it in person, but have Miss Taylor could be by Zoom if you want to do that.
I think she would prefer that. That gives her the option to return to her home and get whatever medical care she might need, and yet continue to be able to be here. So this 10 a.m. is done for Zoom?
Well, no, I'll do it in person, except for the defendant.
Okay.
That way you have a right to question the witnesses in person and cross-examine them. Of course, you can come in too, Miss Taylor. That's up to you. You don't have to Zoom in. So, all right.
Am I free to Zoom in? I mean, I'm questioning that because, again, this was originally this exam.
I understand. So I'll leave it up to you. I'm indicating you can have it in person, but if you're indicating you want it by Zoom, if you want to question the witnesses by Zoom.
Understand, Your Honor. We'll see.
I'm just going to indicate it's in person, but
Okay.
with those.
I think we'll have to see how the numbers go.
All right. And is your address the same then on Wellborn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're all set.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, recalling the matter of People v. Anthony Anderson. Do we have somebody in jail?
We do, Your Honor.
Do we have this one?
Do you have a file?
This is it.
Is that this one?
Yeah.
All right, People first, is this the person in jail?
Natasha White, Your
People
Honor.
person Natasha White.
White.
This gentleman, what case is he here on?
Case for you, Your Honor.
Traffic,
What's your name?
Nathaniel Brown. Yeah, they told me from.
All right, Natasha White, state your name, please.
Yeah.
Deputy, can you hear us there?
Yes, Your Honor, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you. Natasha White, state your name, please.
Natasha White.
Mr. Metzger?
Thank you, Judge. Mark Metry, indigent counsel on behalf of Ms. White. Let the record reflect that I did see her. It's my understanding she has signed a request for a court-appointed attorney, but in any event, she would waive the reading. She understands her charges.
I don't have that. Did they fax one in?
They signed it in front of me, and I don't know if the fax came through.
Can you check, see if there's a fax?
It wasn't one earlier.
Ms. White, you're charged with uttering and publishing a check dated March 26th of this year in the amount of $2,800 drawn on the U.S. Department of Treasury listing LaTanya Bolden as the payee and endorser. And it is a felony. The maximum punishment is 14 years in prison. You have a right to a preliminary examination hearing. The prosecutor is required to show there's probable cause to believe this offense was committed and probable cause to believe that you committed this offense. If they were to show that, the matter would be set for trial. You're entitled to be represented by an attorney.
Okay.
There's a petition which states that you're not working. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm not working.
Do you have any money to hire your own attorney?
Not really.
Court will appoint an attorney. Your first court date is July the 7th at 8:30. That's a probable cause conference. If not resolved, it's set for preliminary examination hearing, July 14th at 8:30. As to her bond, Mr. Metrick?
Your Honor, very limited criminal contacts, as far as I can tell. It's traffic. She lives at home alone with her 5-year-old child. I guess it's not alone. She's not on probation or parole. She was not picked up on a new charge. She was arrested on this charge. I don't know if I misread it, but it looks like a June 23rd warrant signing. So she
I
hasn't,
was just signed today, right?
yeah, she hasn't been out. I don't think she's a risk. This is nonviolent. We're asking for a personal bond.
Are you on parole or probation any court?
No.
What is your address, please?
15033 Charles R. Avenue, East Point, Michigan 48021.
And how long have you lived there?
A little over a year, probably like a year and 2 months.
All right, your bond is set in the amount of $10,000 personal because you don't have, it doesn't appear you have a record. If you do, it's very minor and no warrants out for your arrest. So you'll be released, but make sure you zoom in on July 7th at 8:30. It'll be before Judge Hakeem. You'll get all the instructions about that.
Okay.
It's obviously a condition of your bond. There's to be no criminal activity. You're all set.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Recall the matter of People versus Anthony Anderson. I guess you can't hear us. People versus Frank Lupo II.
Actually, it's the third, Your Honor.
For the record, John Biernet on behalf of Mr. Lupo, Judge, I believe this is set for a probation violation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. It's set for a hearing.
If I could just have a moment with my client, if a breakout
Okay,
is available.
Is he here?
Yes, yes.
Yes, we'll put you in a breakout room.
Thanks,
Mr.
Judge.
Perlman, are you ready on Anthony Anderson?
Yes, I am. I did receive the pre-sentence report.
And you went through that with your client, is that correct?
Well, I sent it to him. If I just sent it to him about 2 minutes ago, so if we could just pass literally for 3 minutes, we'd be ready.
You want to just adjourn it for another date then, or you want,
No,
you
no.
want to proceed?
Well, we were ready to go. I mean, Mr. Anderson, did you receive it?
Yes, I got it.
Okay. I have no issues going forward today.
Are you ready to now? It's just, I
Yes,
have
yes.
an exam I'm ready to start too, so.
I'm
All
ready to
right.
go.
As to sentencing then, Mr. Perlman?
Yes, Your Honor, I received the pre-sentence report. We did come up with a sentencing, my client did plea in this case. And in terms of the recommendation, we're just asking for as light of a probation term as possible. My client has a lot of things, positive things going for him. He's involved in many different, very creative person, involved in many different facets of education and things that are going to be really helpful for him in the future. He's really goal-driven, a focused person. I really don't think this is going to be a continued issue, and he's, and I'm just asking if the court is inclined to give him probation, that probation be as non-reporting and as lenient as possible.
You do understand that the recommendation is jail also, correct?
This says
Reporting probation and a period of incarceration is what it says, in addition to other things.
well, I'm asking for a period of probation. I don't think that a period of incarceration is appropriate in this case at all.
What about all the, he was placed on a bond, and again, there were at least 17 violations according to community corrections.
Your Honor, can
My
I
client had
speak on those,
COVID.
please?
Go ahead. My client had COVID during that time.
Yeah, I had COVID and I submitted into the case manager bond. At least 8 of those was supposed to not even be on there. They gave me the right to not report until May 27th, which was my last day reporting. 8 of those are not even supposed to be on there. I gave them the proper documents and everything. She sent it over to her supervisor, and they said it's acceptable, and they told me don't report until May 27th.
What about all the positive test results prior to that date?
Yes, the priors to that press was in March, and you told me about that. I admitted to that, and I told you I won't drop dirty after that. I haven't dropped dirty. The only thing after that has been me missing, and that's because of COVID.
When did that happen?
I caught COVID in I want to say May 8th, and I didn't drop after that until the 26th when they told me, the 27th when they told me to go back. Other than that, you told me that I had dropped dirty as far as March and the things like that, and I told you I won't drop dirty no more. I've been seeing my counselor. I go see my counselor once a week. You know what I'm saying? I missed a thing with her too, because like I say, other than the last 2 times I missed, I fell into a financial hardship where I lost my unemployment. I helped my mom out with her rent. She has lupus. She can't work. And I can't work because I've been in a bad car accident last year, which I can't stand over 5 hours because I broke my back and my hip. So, you know, I was trying to get a restricted driver's license. Like I took care of all my tickets. I don't have any warrants, anything. I'm trying to get a restricted driver's license, but they suspended my license for a whole year. I do driving jobs like Lyft and Uber and things like that, just so I can make ends meet and help bills. But 8 of those was for sure, like, not even supposed to be on there. I sent the proper documents. They accepted it, and they told me don't report.
Well,
You're also